Number 7. I swear if I get my hands on the fuck that wrote this piece of shit. Remember when I talked about the first movie and said that the dialogue was its strongest aspect? Well, Ninja Turtles 3 can't even get that shit right. Even if the story was shit, which it is, and it didn't make any goddamn sense, which it doesn't, I can at least find it bearable if the characters' lines were witty and made for engaging conversation. But they don't. Compare any scene from this movie to any scene from the first, and the weak writing becomes evident.
I really don't have anything to offer you guys except for frozen pizza.
Let's go for it! You said the magic word.
You guys eat pizza?
Doesn't everybody?
Awesome! But do you think they had pizza back then?
Get out of town.
Oh, so that's the plan from our great leader, huh? Just sit here on our butts.
I never said I was a great leader.
Well, you sure act like it sometimes.
Yeah?
But remember, we're turtles, not honor guards. Oh, thanks for pointing that out, Leo. That would explain the large shell on my back. Well, you don't have to be so sarcastic. Well, I'm sorry, Leo, but that's my nature.
And when the characters aren't having bland, witless conversations, they're filled with more lame pop culture references than the last shit Seth MacFarlane took.
Three Stooges.
Yeah, Larry, Curly,
And Mo.
Clint Eastwood?
What if we make like a cosmic U-turn and end up back in Godzilla land?
You were
Oh,
expecting
okay,
maybe
they got the idea.
Addams Family?
You can stop now. How do I turn this fucking thing off? How do I make it stop? Oh god. Oh, it's seeping into my brain. Oh god. Somebody help me. Oh.
Oh god, fucking brain aneurysm.
It's hammer time!
And you could tell the writer had no faith in his jokes. Because after each one, the others will laugh as if to say, "Hey kids, this is funny. You should be laughing too." The Ninja Turtles also have a horrible case of mouth diarrhea, where they just don't know how to shut the fuck up. This is at its worst during the fight scenes.
Ooh, love the artwork. 1, 2, 3, and kick! Smells like a geek ran through here. This is so good for your calves.
Yeah.
God, they remind me of this kid I picked up in the parking lot of the local Dairy Queen. He was constantly making noise, wouldn't shut the fuck up, so I just gave him something hard to suck on. But then I eventually ran out of lollipops, and ended up leaving him in a shopping cart at the local Winn-Dixie. Wait, wasn't I talking about something? Alright, yeah, they just never shut the fuck up. And once again, it's Donatello who's the worst offender.
Hey, come and get me, come on! Watch your head. Hello, goodbye. 1, 2, 3, hello. Like baseball here? Strike 1, strike 2. You're out of there. I love that game. Bases loaded, home run. Reservations for 5? On your team, maybe? Oh no, guns. There goes the neighborhood. I get such a kick out of this job.
Why is he constantly making piss poor jokes? I mean, in the other movies, he had humorous observations here and there, but in this film, he just pops off these kindergarten level remarks and never stops. Was this in Corey Feldman's contract? Like, he would only come back if they gave him a bunch of lines and made Donnie the funny one? Was the writer like, yeah, sure, but then gave him the shittiest lines in the movie to spite him? I don't know, let's get a second opinion. Hey, what do you think about the dialogue? Don't you think it's kind of little on the, Right, you're dead. I'll let you get back to that, never mind.
Gee, you guys do have a good educational system, huh?
Number 8. Does anything not suck? Well, the opening looks really nice. With the sunset and the silhouette of the samurai. That's a really beautiful shot. And then there's this neat transition from the past to the present with the subway train. That looked cool. And then the Ninja Turtles show up. And they're rocking out the ZZ Top. And doing all these cool ninja moves. And they're just having a great time. It's a nice contrast to the more serious opening. There's also a couple of good lines.
How did you get in April's pants?
Wait, I'm really a beautiful princess in disguise!
Oh, swords.
I just hope these village people won't be afraid of us anymore.
Well, it's a start.
And this scene with the kid is kind of touching.
Don't worry,
And
kid.
that's about it.
Nobody's gonna die.
I can't really think of anything else that... Holy shit. Alright, so Elias Koteas returned as Casey Jones for this movie. And every scene he's in is fucking great. And this ain't no Casey Jones bias either. His lines are genuinely funny and he plays off of Kenshin and the Honor Guards really well. And these easily make up the most engaging parts of the entire movie. But these bits only make up like 1/10 of the total film. And much like the firefighters during 9/11, they just aren't enough to stop the thing from collapsing in on itself. Number 9. Just make it stop already. Now some may try to defend this movie as not being that bad, and that it's a comedy for kids and shouldn't be harshly criticized. But just because it's a silly kids movie doesn't mean it has the right to be mind-rotting garbage. There are plenty of films that are made for children that I would consider great works of art in their own right. And just because your audience has an underdeveloped brain doesn't mean you should treat them like goddamn idiots. Ninja Turtles 3 isn't just a bad movie. I'd argue it's the worst comic book movie sequel ever. And you may be pointing at Batman and Robin right now and calling bullshit on my statement, but at least that movie had a vision. Sure, it was a campy neon-colored cartoon vision, but it was a vision nonetheless, and one that the director was obviously passionate about. I know you could bring up Frieza's many ice puns, and him singing Mr. White Christmas with his henchmen, or the ice skating fight in the museum, or the sky surfing scene, or the back credit card, or any of the other ridiculous shit that was in that movie. At least those scenes were memorable and gave you something to bring up with your friends, and you can have a good time laughing over how dumb the whole thing was. But with Ninja Turtles 3, there is no fun to be had. There's no lines that are so cheesy that they make you chuckle regardless. There's no scenes that are ridiculous enough to stick with you and that you can joke about later. It's just a giant pile of mediocrity, and any good parts get lost in the shuffle with all the bad. And after watching it, you're just left empty inside, like a hollowed out turtle shell. But things are starting to look up. I hear there's a new live action movie out now that's taking things more seriously like the first movie, and can be enjoyed by both kids and adult fans. Oh my god, what's wrong with your face? Oh god, who the fuck approved those designs? And why the fuck are the turtles computer animated? Bring back the suits. I like the suits. And speaking of CG, what's up with that new cartoon? Why can't it be 2D like the good ones? And why does Donatello want to fuck April? You know what? Fuck it. This franchise is dead. Just give me my old movies and my old cartoon. I don't like all this new shit. I'm old, and I hate change.